Good evening, everybody. Tonight in the Tavern, Steve went to the park. Sweet 16 for JT. And we're talking team golf. Let's get into it.
Yeah. I think he is back to form. He fell off a little bit last year, but he also was named Ryder Cup captain. Give me Steve Bradley.
Good evening, everybody. What's going on, Dave? How are you?
How we doing? Long time no see.
Greg's trying to flex, and I'm waiting for Bradley to comment. Good evening, everybody, just so I can have him say drink to Greg.
Yeah.
But we'll bring him in. What's up in your meta glasses?
Hey, I'm giving you live from the Pacers-Bucks playoff game. Pacers are up by 12 right now. So, from the field house, giving you some fun.
Thank you, Bradley.
There it is.
That, Bradley. We needed that.
Yep.
I can't show the game, otherwise we'll get flagged by the NBA, but that's why I'm off. So, you guys have fun tonight. They know my picks. Congratulations to JT. The heritage was amazing, as it always is. So, have a good show, everybody. I'll see you later.
Later. See you.
Cheers. So, Steve, you got some new gear on there tonight, I see.
Do have some new gear. I get my golfish hoodie. You got new gear today too, didn't you?
I did. I have their performance tee on. So yeah, just a little logo right there on the side. My wife went in, used code Golfing Dads, and ordered me up a whole bunch of stuff. So, we support those that support us.
I will say that may or may not have a new logo on my hat too. And maybe the coolest.
See that.
Maybe the new coolest. I'm gonna be honest. I love the Golfish logo. Don't get me wrong. This might be the coolest golf course logo. Out there right now. At the park.
My logo up here is pretty cool as well too.
Yeah, I can't see. My camera's in the line. Hold on. Oh yeah, Desert Fox Golf. Yeah, we love that. We do love some DFG.
Yeah. I did add some new swag to the back here, thanks to Greg.
I was gonna say Greg added new swag to the back there.
Greg added new swag.
Greg added new swag.
Greg sent me some new swag, but I tell you what, all the flags that you see behind me are courses that I've played, myself, or been to. So the Masters flags I've had friends that have gone now twice and picked me up a flag, and of course when we went. So I'm not just I will say the Ryder Cup flag that somebody picked me up from Italy.
My favorite one up there still might be that red one over your left shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
From PI.
Right next to the par 3 flag.
Yeah, from the PI underneath the the Powder Boy flag there.
Yep.
How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. It's been busy. We had a busy Easter. Weather here still not fully cooperating, so I'm still out in the vineyard working. But we had a good Easter with the family coming down, and just went right back to work again today. So how about you guys?
I for some reason got lucky this weekend. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Parliamentary procedure, probably not the right words to say on the show.
Probably not. I did play 2 rounds of golf this weekend. I went down to the park. We're going to talk about that in happy hour. But then we did tee it up, and I will say. We used and they're not in here right now. I did have the tee box dice this weekend. If you're not following them on Instagram, you need to be. I will say that I had a ton of fun playing. We went out and it was we decided to play every hole. We rolled the dice to see what tees we played, and it was actually a lot of fun. We played a course. Dave, you and I have played it a bunch. We played the Reserve at Orange Lake. We've played that course a bunch. And so it's a little different to get out there and play from some different tees and move back and forth. So I'm a big fan of the tee box dice. We're going to be using them more. So
I'm here in the Midwest. I'm still waiting to go play golf.
was gonna say, you haven't played since January.
Yeah, outside of the simulator, still haven't. Work's been getting. I gotta do what I need to do, and just don't have the time to get out right now. And the weather here is not fully cooperating. So, but
let's hop into first round. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Maybe you talk about caddies. Where are we here?
Caddies are good.
Are you always looking for a safe and accessible place to store your phone in your cart during a round of golf? Well, our friends at Desert Fox Golf have the perfect solution, the Desert Fox Phone Caddy. Just strap it to the cart window frame and you're all set. Also worried that you will miss your favorite podcast, The Golfing Dad's Tavern? They have a solution for that as well. Just add their DJ10 speaker so you don't have to miss a minute of our show. Find these great products and more at desertfoxgolf.com.
Desert Fox Golf.
Yep.
The best company out there. And I would be hard pressed to not comment on their NCAA stuff. I'm actually going to get some of their new NCAA stuff here and rep that. So definitely be able to rep your favorite brand, and it's such a cool idea. So,
and there are more. If you don't see your favorite brand out there, drop Desert Fox a line. Say who you're looking for. I know Scott and I have talked about what's coming down the pipeline for some schools here in the Midwest. Yep. So, but if you don't see your favorite school right there, drop Desert Fox a message. Let them know who you want to see out there next.
So,
but caddies.
Interesting weekend this weekend. Back in the winner's circle for the first time since winning the PGA Championship, Justin Thomas getting his 16th win.
How many times have I taken JT and I didn't pick him this weekend?
Well, that's your fault.
I know.
I'm going to say this. Andrew Novak, bro.
Yeah.
Serious game. And the playoff was a lot of fun.
The par he made out of the waste bunker there on Sunday.
But yes, JT's win was great. But JT's got a new caddy on the bag the last couple weeks.
Not a new caddy, a fill-in. His caddy got injured.
Fill-in, correct. It took you 3 years to get back in the winner's circle. You had to have a meeting with Xander to talk about putting and to get back. Joey Griner steps in after getting off of Max Homa's bag and get you a W. And sometimes, I'm going to be honest out there, sometimes the caddy voice change can be all the difference out there on the PGA Tour. So the question I'm going to ask you is, if you're Justin Thomas, is Joey Griner on the bag now permanently?
No, you go back to Rev.
Ooh.
You don't, and I said this in our text thread earlier, caddies are just the same as pro athletes. You don't lose your starting spot because of an injury.
Here's the thing, though, that I will say this. I agree with that statement. However, a lot of times out there being on a team and having that caddy voice and having somebody that can keep you calm and keep under the gun might be a good thing to have.
And here's the thing. I don't think JT has really played all that bad this year or
even last year. Even last year. He didn't play bad last year.
He didn't play bad last year.
He didn't win.
He had some he had some unfortunate breaks. We saw, let's just throw, Tiger out there, and how many caddies did Tiger go through? Sometimes it's the player. It's not just the caddy.
Tiger had what? Is that 4 caddies in his career?
Yep.
4. This would be Justin's 4th.
Yep. But again, yes, you're right. It may be a different voice in his ear, but the two of them, and I'm sure have been friends, and he's played enough practice rounds with Homa to, to understand what Joe was getting at. But sometimes it's just now Justin maybe of just trusting himself a little bit more and saying, I'm going to hit this shot and, not have to worry about the caddy talking him in or out of a certain shot. And he went and was the pure athlete that, he was that has won before. Harbor Town is a great shot maker's test. We've all played there. Yes, Bradley will drink. And you don't have to be long. You don't have to, Brian Harmon had a great round out there at Harbor Town. He is not the longest hitter off of there. You saw Justin shot on 18, both 18 is regulation and playoff that, he was 15, 20 yards behind everybody else, but he had great iron shots into that green. And that's what that course needed. And yeah, a voice in there, may have helped, but I'll stand on that soapbox that just because he went out and won. Now, if he went out and missed the cut, or if there wasn't a cut here, and if he finished dead last, we wouldn't be having this conversation, because it's just like he's getting his caddy back. Hey, you got somebody great to carry your bag for a couple couple rounds. Let's pair this back up here. But he won, and we're sitting here having this conversation because of that.
Really quickly,
it didn't help him at Augusta.
I just got a really cool picture, by the way. And I want to say congratulations to Lee from Wedge FX for becoming a granddad again. Just tonight. So congrats to Lee.
I feel a new Wedge coming out.
Yeah, probably. They celebrate it. Wedges celebrate everything.
Yes.
I think that here's the thing with Harbor Town, and you're right, we've played it. I think the thing with Harbor Town is it's a straight hitter's dream because you can't get offline there because it's so narrow. Nope. There are holes you can get claustrophobia on. It's so tight. I still think one of my favorite par threes I've ever played is on that golf course in 14. One of the greatest moments on that golf course was watching you hit it into the railroad ties on 13 out of the bunker.
I still got up and down for bogey.
Double. But I'm going to say this. Like when you look at that golf course, when you look at that golf course and you get around that golf course, and again, great players have always won at Harbor Town. Like when you look back, yes, there are the outliers, Wesley Bryan. But for the most part, multiple time winners win at Harbor Town. Guys that play on President's Cup and Ryder Cup team win at Harbor Town. And this is no different. Scotty won there last year. JT wins this year. Do I think that JT? I think when JT got rid of Bones, he needed to get rid of Bones. It was time to move on from Bones. At this point, do I think that he does he need to move on from his caddy and go to a different one? It's a lot to be said for having success with somebody, especially getting a trophy and a winner's paycheck after 3 years of not getting it. And that's where I honestly think that at some point he needs to look at his inner circle and have a conversation with his team, with his dad, with Jillian and that group and say, okay, do we stick with Joey going forward? I wouldn't be surprised if he stuck with Joey going forward. I also wouldn't be surprised if he went back to his old caddy. But I do think that Justin Thomas is one of the greats of the game right now that we're watching. When you think about it, I mean, he's won 16 times. He's got 2 majors. He's got a Players Championship. At this point, you have to pick the guy that's going to help you get to 20, so you have a lifetime exemption on the PGA Tour. Mm-hmm. That's where you have to be. You got 4 wins to get a lifetime exemption.
But here's the thing that's happened to him in the last 3. He's married. He's got a brand new baby. It's a different perspective. When Jordan won there, Jordan was freshly married, had a new baby. That life-changing events puts different things into perspective as a tour player or as anybody. We're golfing dads. We know this.
End of the day, and I'm going to say this, the quiet part out loud about Justin, and I'm not going to argue that. But what I am going to say is Justin is, when you look back at the class of 2011, when he came out, when Jordan came out, Scotty came out right after that. When you look back at that group of guys, Justin still has more wins than all of them.
Yeah.
Justin's the guy at say. Now, do I think Scotty Scheffler will pass Justin Thomas? I do.
Yes.
Do I mean, I'm going to say the quiet part out loud when you look at other things that are going on in the world of golf. Will Scotty pass him? Yes. Now, I'm going to say something, and I've said this all along, and everybody throws Bryson in as like the greatest player on the LIV Tour and this, that, and the other. And I argue that he won once last year. And yes, it was the US Open, but he only won once last year. Do you know where Bryson DeChambeau stands through 5 events on the LIV Tour on the money list?
Not a clue.
16.
Yeah.
Do I need to point out the fact that he's the best player on your tour and he stands 16th in money?
Yeah.
I would take JT's career. I would take JT's wins. Justin also rebuilt his golf swing during the last 3 years and went through a swing change with his dad as a swing coach. I think that Justin is prime at this point to take off. And would I be surprised? There are 2 things that would not surprise me between now and the end of the year. Rory McIlroy winning another major wouldn't surprise me, and Justin Thomas winning a major this year would not surprise me.
I don't know about. I will put another win on Rory and Justin this year.
Okay. Major or just another win?
I will put another win. I will put money on another win for Rory and Justin this year.
Okay. You're not going down the major route. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair. All right. That being said, Harbortown was awesome. Harbortown never disappoints, as we all know. It's one of our favorite spots on the PGA Tour.
Let me ask you this. I know we went into this last year.
Mm-hmm.
Better as an elevated event or better as just Harbortown? I don't. We need Greg for this one, but
no, I know the answer, and it's better as a signature event. And I will tell you why. It's because, again, the only player that didn't show up was Rory this week, and he hasn't shown up at Harbortown since they made it a signature event.
It's the one he misses.
No, it's the second one he misses every year.
Yeah.
I think that because he skips Tournament of Champions also.
Yeah.
I think Harbortown is better as a signature event, and I actually like the week after on the PGA Tour because, like, the week after the US Open, you have what's it called? Hartford, which is a signature event.
Oh, the Hartford.
No,
yeah.
Hartford.
Hartford.
I think the week after the majors having a signature event, especially the U.S. majors, I don't necessarily know that I would put one after the Open Championship.
No.
But I would definitely think flying back and all that other stuff. But I actually think it's good to keep those guys playing. They're just coming off of playing in the major. Yeah. I think it's better for golf because I also think that half those guys wouldn't show up this week. They wouldn't.
Yeah. Now, so I do appreciate the elevated event. Augusta and Harbortown are nice and easy. You
Correct.
Play the U.S. Open at Pebble and then have to get to Hartford. That's where I have the issue with that being an elevated event. Does that happen all the time? No. This year it's at Oakmont. Then I make it nice and easy, to get there.
Do you want my opinion? Do you want my opinion of that?
These guys travel all the time. It really doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter. And they're probably flying private across the country at that point. So It doesn't matter. They're probably all sharing flights and they're hopping on flights together and they're just gonna sit up in a private jet. You and I don't have
Justin and Jordan
flying.
do that. Yeah. But
so
I appreciate
I don't feel bad for them flying private.
Yeah.
So
Greg and I lived on the island. We loved Harbortown Week. The guys it used to be one giant fraternity party. But I think being a signature event, it's calmed down a little bit. But you see everybody out there on the island enjoying, having dinner, and it's a great low country feel. So with that,
speaking of feels,
let's talk the park.
We need to get into happy hour. Let's hop into happy hour here. So I think what I want to do, Dave, I want to roll the interview. So this past Saturday, I went down to the park, and I interviewed a good friend of mine. His name is Ryan. He works at the park. Super good dude, stick of a golfer, carries a 1-point-something handicap. And we went down, did the interview, played the par 3. We did the putting course. Then we went out and played a golf course that they hosted. A Capital won the match under the lights. They played 12 holes with the newest Grand Slam winner and Rory and Max Homa and Lexi Thompson and Rose Zhang. We talk
Max
about
Homa
that. We
showed his commentary skills because that was about the best golf
What's
that
up,
Max played.
What's up, Rob? How are you, buddy? I think I want to jump into the interview and then talk about it afterwards because I think the interview leads well into what we're going to talk about. So hope everybody enjoys this interview. We're going to hop out so you don't have to listen to us. Hey everybody, it's Steve from the Tavern. I am live on location at the park, and I'm with my buddy Ryan. Ryan works here at the park. Ryan, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thanks for coming down.
Ryan, we want to talk a little bit about the park and the amazing facility you guys have here. Last week, the park celebrated its 2nd anniversary, and it's been a wild ride over 2 years for you guys here at the park. And while we're going to get into that, let's go back to before this was the park. And what was it before it became this great facility you guys have here?
So back starting in the 40s, it was a place called the West Palm Beach Country Club, or West Palm Beach Golf Course at one point too. It's hosted a couple PGA events. It was actually a pretty fun place to play. It was run by the city. And then just kind of as public golf courses kind of declined, so did this place. It ended up closing in 2018.
Okay. And that was at a point where there were like 11 golf courses closing to every one opening in the state of Florida. I mean, it was a really bad time for what was public golf and public access golf. And we've seen a lot of those courses that had closed become things other than a golf course, housing development, shopping malls, everything in between. Where did the idea come from to turn this into not only an amazing golf course, but a place for the community?
So this property actually was going in that direction of becoming a housing community. The city was considering selling it off to developers.
Okay.
But Seth Waugh, who just retired last year as the CEO of the PGA of America, he stepped in. He had known of the history of it. He's down in this area quite a bit. And he knew of the history of the land and came in and spoke to the mayor and said, hey, I want to try to raise some funding, see if we can come up with a golf course that will give back to the community and help maybe grow the game a little bit more.
Well, and that's obviously growing the game is something that's important to everybody.
100%.
I kind of want to go into everything you guys have here. We've walked around. I've been here for dinner. You've got multiple restaurants inside and out. You've got a top tracer range and a par 3 course that's really lit. Literally.
And figuratively.
You got a 10-hole putting course and the 18-hole championship golf course. It's easy to say that someone could come down here and spend from sun up to well after sunset here.
100%.
And to do everything and have a great time.
Yep.
Can you talk about that experience for people?
Well, one of our slogans and one of our missions is called Open Golf, and that basically means we want golf to be available to anybody and everybody. So not only from the golf aspect, being able to come out here and practice putting, practice chipping, hit range balls, play the par 3 with your friends and family at night, and just kind of hang out and have a great big family atmosphere. We actually do provide something towards the community too, which is one of our number 1 driven missions as well. So we have what's called the Path, and we provide after school programs for kids we've partnered with 5 or 6, I believe, middle schools, elementary schools to provide an aftercare program after school. So where they come here for 2 hours, they do golf related and exercise related stuff, mainly focused around golf.
Okay.
For an hour, and then for another hour they work on their academics. 95% of our kids have actually increased their grade level just by being in this program.
That's amazing. Now this course has hosted everyone from beginners to the PGA Tour, LPGA Tour, with the Capital One the match they had here, as well as presidents have showed up here to play golf.
President Obama.
Accolades like this are usually reserved for very high-end exclusive golf courses. What is it about this place that draws everyone here so they can have this amazing experience?
Honestly, it is our mission statement of Open Golf. We're just, hey, everybody come here, hang out, do what you want to do. We don't have dress codes or anything at all. You know, honestly, this is my work attire daily. You know,
nice.
We're trying to kind of break through barriers of the stereotypes of golf, that it's stuffy and, you know, buttoned up and wear suit and ties and blah 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 blah. That's not really what golf should be about.
Right.
You go out there and you have a couple of beverages with your buddies, and, you know, just trying to provide a place that's fun.
I came down here, was lucky enough, we had dinner one time back in January, and the restaurant was packed, and it wasn't just golfers having dinner there that night.
Nope.
It's very difficult for a municipal golf course to become a go-to location for community, whether it's dinner or other events they're having there. How did the park connect with the community to make an amazing environment that people are literally lining up for this experience?
So, based on my understanding, I would say it's basically been from the mission from the get-go.
Okay.
You know, we aren't providing a golf course restaurant here. We're providing an actual legitimate high-end quality restaurant.
Yep.
That just happens to be at a golf course.
Okay.
And being able to take that approach in our cabana, so that's the house, our cabana restaurant, which is kind of the outdoor sports bar type thing, that has really taken on the, I guess, aura of having a party atmosphere and being able to just kind of sit there and watch sports and also watch people playing the par 3 or on the putting course and everything. So,
before we get to the golf course, I love a good par 3 golf course at a destination location. The Cradle at Pinehurst obviously comes to mind when you think about par 3 golf courses and being the kind of the poster child what everybody was trying to replicate. You guys have one here. It's called the Lit.
Yep, the Lit 9.
The Lit 9. And can you talk about its place here?
Honestly, I would say that it's one of the more foundations from the golf perspective. You know, it's the holes range in 60 to 90 yards, but there's some crazy green complexes and undulations. But we provide a easy access and a nice, easy way for people to learn golf too. You know, and you have people that are just starting swinging that are going out there and they're able to play and enjoy it.
Now, the golf course you've got here, 18-hole Gil Hans design. Gil came in and redid the golf course.
Yep.
A lot of sand from what I saw in an aerial picture. Not a lot of water.
Just a touch of sand. No water hazards.
No water at all.
No water at all.
It makes the golf course playable for all skill levels.
100%.
What was the vision design in the golf course as it came into reality?
I mean, I would say just that.
Okay.
Really, also one kind of unique feature, and you'll see this today, is from 100 yards in, you could actually putt it. So everything, maybe 1 or 2 holes at the most don't have that ability, but you can actually make it playable for anybody. You know, it's hard from the tips, and it can be easy and fun and enjoyable for even the beginners.
I'm going to ask you this. We're going to get to play the golf course here in a little bit, but what's your favorite hole out here?
Oh man, I'd say 11.
11
is probably my favorite visually.
Okay.
I may not ever play it that well, but visually it's amazing. And then 15, 16, and 17 is a really interesting, cool stretch of holes.
Okay. I feel like you and I could sit here all day and talk about the facility, and I don't want to take a lot more of your time, and we got to go warm up a little bit here. But before I let you go, if someone were to come into town or they live here and they want to come down here, what would you suggest they do to get the full experience here at the park?
Come here at night.
Come here at night, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once, especially Friday, we do Family Fun Friday. Every Friday there's a arts and craft table that we set up for the kids. Friday nights are just the essence of what the park is all about. Families, kids, everywhere. It's kids are able to play all of the golf stuff at night for free. I think they get a discount on the buckets of range balls too, but they're able to play the par 3 for free. The putting green's open to everybody, but just that I would come at night and really experience the full atmosphere of it.
Before we let you go, and we do appreciate you joining us today, if people want to find out more about the park, where can they go to find out more about the park?
Theparkwestpalm.com.
Theparkwestpalm.com.
And
nice.
You can follow us on our social media too, Instagram and Facebook too.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate the
Thanks,
time. Looking forward to 15, 16, and 17 later today. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks.
That was fun.
I'm going to mention something here, and this, Bradley, I'll take my drink. Steve, before you and I became friends, and this is going in the Wayback Machine, I played that when it was the Palm Beach course.
Did you really?
Yes. My aunt and uncle lived down there just outside of Lake Worth, and when I'd go down there and visit them, they lived on the City of Atlantis Country Club there. And so I could get out and do a little bit of one of the par 3s backed up right to their pool. But if I wanted to go play golf when I was down there, I went over there to West Palm, and I hadn't put 2 and 2 together because, I'm a little on the slower side. But yeah, I have played there.
That's why we have you here. So
I know.
I want to go in and talk about the experience. And talk about the coolness of the property. We finished that. I was down there with the Orlando golfer. We got there. We actually beat Ryan there, and then his buddy Austin, who joined us, had a blast. Hayden and I got there early. We actually did the 10-hole putting course. And if you've ever done one of these putting courses, when I tell you there was one hole that you could make a 1 on, and the rest of them were like impossible, pretty close. And then we did the interview, and then we went over and did the par 3. And the par 3 course, I think the longest hole was 90 yards into the wind. It played. The coolest hole on the par 3 course is the 9th hole. Putter only on the 9th hole. It's mowed down. The whole thing is mowed down, and it played to about 80 yards. You could play it. You could stretch the thing to about 100 yards with a putter in your hand. And it was just fun. The par 3 course, the lit 9 is awesome. Again, like he talked about, it's just a cool spot. And then we went and played the golf course, and we started on the first hole, and I texted you guys a picture of this.
Yep.
These drinks, we got them from the cabana. They have them at the house too. With the logo on them from the park. How cool is that logo? Might be the coolest golf course logo I've ever been around. These were transfusions. They make them there, and then they seal them. So you want a double? They make you a double, and then they give it to you. The cart girl will get those for you too when she comes around. If she'd like her to get those, she will go and get those and bring them back to you. We started on 10. So we got to the holes that Ryan talked about, obviously, very quickly, because 11 was the first one that he mentioned, which was a 190-yard downhill par 3 with bunkers around it. I actually felt kind of like, with the way the holes laid out, I kind of felt like we were in the Australian Sandbelt. Kind of that Royal Melbourne type with the bunkers around the green and the kind of way it figured around the green and the green complex there. It was a really cool feeling. And he was right. That 15, 16, 17 stretch, 15 is an uphill par 5. Even into the wind, I was pin high in 2. 16 was played dead into the fan, and I had a chip shot right of the green, so you can get there. It's a risk reward, uphill par 4, drivable. And then 17 played 180 downwind par 3, again with a big gaping bunker, elevated green. Just a really good stretch of holes. And it was so much fun. And 18 was a par 5 playing back to the clubhouse with the big American flag there. And then you get around to 1. And I had maybe the coolest moment on one. One might be my favorite hole just because of what happened. I drove it left into kind of the native area, laid up with a 3-wood. I left myself 82 yards, and then hit a little flighted sandwich and held it up against the wind with some check spin on it, and jarred it I hooped it for a 3 for an eagle, which was a lot of fun. When you see the video that goes up tomorrow, the Orlando golfer was kind of a jerk and said I made 7 there. He said it was a nice 7. But no, it was the golf course. The golf course had everything. And one of the cool things was they could move the tee markers around. There's no real tee markers. It's all just kind of native, almost like what you see at Pinehurst on number 2, what they did with what Cork Crenshaw did at number 2, where they have these teeing areas where you can put the tees anywhere. And so you get a hole, and we played a hole, it was 8, played dead into the wind, and they had the tee markers. They moved them up because they could, because there's no real like marker of this is where the back tees are. They moved them up because it played into the wind, so they gave you kind of that benefit. And when you do things like that, obviously it makes me want to come back and play more because it makes the course much more enjoyable. But it also speeds up play. We had to walk. They have a rule. You have to walk before noon this time of year. So push cart was out, and we were hoofing it. Hadn't done that in a while, which was nice. It was a little different. And we finished in just over 4 hours waiting on the group in front of us. So, it was a great layout. I'm going to say this on what they've done at the park and revitalize the facility, but they've made it an amazing facility. I think there are a lot of other municipalities that need to look at what they've done at the park as to how do they reinvigorate golf in their city.
Yeah. And you and I could probably name quite a few off the top of our heads just in Central Florida.
Oh, I'm going to say this. The closest thing we have here is what they've done at Claremont National.
Yeah.
And it's still not even close. Like Claremont National, the vibe at Claremont National might be the coolest vibe in Orlando as far as golf facilities go. I will give them a ton of credit for that. The park, and so we got done, right? And we get done playing, we get in, and we went off 10 because they had an event that night. They had an event on Saturday night, and they were using that area because the 10th tee is right by the lit 9 and the par 3 and the putting course and the chipping area. And they had an Easter egg hunt and a family event for the community that night. There wasn't a parking space available. People were parking on the street. There were probably 5,000 people there. You couldn't find a seat. Kids running around everywhere. And I looked and I was like, this is what golf should be like.
Yep. What I appreciated with his interview is it's like, yeah, you've had celebrities and dignitaries. He's wearing a polo and a hat to work.
Yep.
Nice, easy, relaxed. It's not stuffy. Golf isn't meant to be stuffy. It's meant to be enjoyable.
So if you play early, you have to take a caddy. They're caddy optional for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
First few groups out have to take a caddy. And I'm going to be honest with you, I really want one of those caddy t-shirts. That the caddies wore t-shirts. They were long sleeve dry fit t-shirts. It had this logo on them, on the middle of them. They're white. And then down the left arm, they say Looper.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want a caddy t-shirt. Can anybody get me one of those in a 2X, please? Because that's awesome. Not gonna lie, I would rock that a lot. Steve, what are you doing? Just chilling, wearing my Looper shirt. They've created an environment there that is second to none. And I will give them a ton of credit in that Orlando needs this, Tampa needs this, Jacksonville needs this, New York City needs this, Boston needs this, Philadelphia needs this. Every major metropolitan area needs something like this for not only golf, but for their community. Again, they had 5,000 people out there. They had 2 bounce houses out front. They had the Easter Bunny out front for photos. They had an Easter egg hunt. And everybody that was there for that was from the community.
Yeah. Yeah. When you think about, West Palm and Lake Worth, you don't think of it as a very large community, but it is. You get down there off the turnpike and you get into Lake Worth and West Palm and everything else. And not to mention, the amount of amazing restaurants that are around that area. And he's saying, that you have this amazing restaurant that's there at the park, that you don't have to be there to golf to go to it. And that just elevates it for, what I know of that area.
Dave, I don't mean to cut you off, but Austin, who joined us for golf the other day, is watching on Instagram. Austin, dude, first off, it was awesome to have you join us. We had a blast. We need to definitely do it again. We need to get you and Ryan up here to Orlando and play a little Disney golf. But you are right. What a great spot for the community. And I really, you're right. You just wrote the place is one of a kind, and it is unbelievable. And honestly, I can't wait to get back down there. And we definitely, Austin, we definitely want to get you and Ryan up here to play some Disney golf. So we'll get that taken care of. But Dave, you played.
Maybe I'll play golf one day too.
maybe you're gaining on it. You're getting close to that day at this time of year. So. Is it time for us to hop into everybody's favorite smack of the week? Thank you to the Bridgestone Mindset. Love it. Made mine the other day with it. Hooped that one. Hooped the Mindset for my Eagle the other day that I made. And but this one we're giving the nod to Mother Nature this week for the Smack of the Week. So I'll let you check it out.
Because that's normal in Florida.
Because that's normal in Florida. Hello, Florida. Florida called.
Florida called next. I see your tornadoes in the Midwest, and I raise you alligators ringing a doorbell.
Correct. So, yeah, it's this time of year it gets a little scary. It is alligator mating season, so just stay away from them. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right, last call. NOLA.
Here's the thing. We love this tournament.
Love it. It's honestly the concept
of this tournament. Yep. And I think the PGA needs to expand on this idea. I would love to see, Rory and Lexi paired together, and Morikawa and Nelly
with the Grant Thornton at the end of the year. Here's my take on New Orleans. Another golf course that I've played. Go ahead, Bradley. Say it. Drink.
Yeah.
Played it the day before my wedding. It's one of my favorite spots. Honestly, this would be if you asked me which Pro-Am would I want to play in on the PGA Tour, I'd probably say this one.
Yeah.
Only because of the food. It would be in New Orleans, and it's the best food city on the PGA Tour. And we could all go to Acme and maybe do our podcast from Acme Oyster House, which would be let's go. Char grilled oysters for the podcast. Let's go.
You're ruining a good oyster.
No, char grilled oysters are so good. I think the PGA Tour has gotten it right with team golf for this event. Again, it's an event. We have to say it every year. Does not get doesn't get official world golf ranking points.
No,
because at some point we're going to bring that up.
Not this week.
Not this week. But it's one of those events that I think is necessary on the PGA Tour. And we had this conversation on Sunday. I played golf Sunday afternoon with the Orlando golfer and our good friend Steve. And we were talking about this week in New Orleans and how the European Tour, the President's Cup team requires their players to play if they want to be considered for the Ryder Cup and President's Cup to get used to playing team golf. And I still say, I honestly think, what the PGA Tour should do, and people might think that I'm crazy for this one. Make this a signature event. Make these guys show up and play team golf if they want to play on the Ryder Cup team.
I 100. Whether it's a signature event or not, you want to be considered, you want to be considered as a captain's pick for the Ryder Cup. Show up.
Learn
Learn how to
golf.
play. Yeah, learn how to play something other than a Pro V1, depending on who your playing partner is.
Well, again, where do we struggle in international play, especially the Ryder Cup of all events?
Yeah, alternate shot. Show up and play alternate shot twice. Find your partner. Yeah.
Find somebody. And I don't care if we make this the most blatantly obvious thing in the planet, because Europe has made it. The President's Cup team has made it. If you make it as blatantly obvious as they made it, take the guys that are all in consideration, pair them together. I don't care.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Have Keegan down there and saying, I'm sorry. Colin Morikawa and Kurt Kitayama, you're not playing together right now. Colin, you're going out with Scotty right now.
I actually don't mind them. I don't mind them playing together. I really don't. Just get used to playing in that format. Like I need these guys to play in this format. I need them to get.
I'm not sending Jordan and Justin out together, but it's things like that where you need to go out.
Again, I think they should. Like, why aren't they there?
Play together. The two of them play. You need to get paired with somebody. Give me, Max Homa and Brooks Koepka together. Now, Brooks can't play in this event. I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah. But I honestly think, the golf course suits this. The week suits this.
Yeah.
It's a fun spot on the PGA Tour. Again, when you can play golf and then drive 30 minutes back, because that's literally what it is. It's 30 minutes away from Bourbon Street, and come back to Bourbon Street and go hang out on Bourbon Street at night. Sign me up for that move.
Yeah.
Let's go to Pat O's tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
What restaurant are we going to tonight? Because they're all freaking great. Or are you getting up every morning and going to Cafe Du Monde and getting beignets? Let's freaking go. Like,
no, I'm sending my assistant to go get beignets.
Yeah, no, I'm going to Cafe Du Monde. I don't even care.
Yeah.
And then they do have the coolest, alligator on the golf course, and Tripod is out there, the three-legged alligator out there.
Yep.
So I think that, I think New Orleans is a great spot. I think it's a great idea for what the tour is trying to do with it. And I honestly think that they need to do more to get these guys playing more. We need more of our President's Cup and Ryder Cup team guys showing up. Like, if you want to be considered for this team, you need to be in New Orleans. But just put it on your calendar, and we don't really give a crap. So
agreed.
Let's hop into odds and make our picks this week. So hold on one second here. We've got Odds with Dave, presented by Nikon, the official rangefinder of the LPGA Tour and the Golfing Death Tavern.
And if you need to read a putt for your child, it's great on the miniature golf course as well too.
I got to give a little nod here, by the way, to something they did at the park. So I've thought this all along. The park, if you look at the flag, if you look at their logo, see the flags in the logo, they have those two like small little pennant flags. Dave, that's what the flags.
I didn't realize. I thought you were talking to the audience.
No, you see it there.
Yeah.
Where so that's what the flags look like on the golf course. So they've got the reflective tape where the flag goes onto the flag stick. They've got the reflective tape wrapped around that. So literally that rangefinder, especially that Nikon one, boom, quick, done. Let's go. There. I got my number. Here we go. Let's do this. So kudos to the park for
that. No surprise here.
Let me guess. Can I guess?
Yeah, you can guess.
Rory and Shane are the first going up. Yeah.
Yes, the best European pairing out there. Coming in at just over 3.5 to 1.
Well, I'm surprised it's that high.
Yep, Kurt Kitayama and Colin Morikawa at 12 to 1. So big drop off there between 1 and 2. Thomas Dietrich and Robert McIntyre at 18, JT Potsdon and Keith Mitchell at 18. Taylor Moore, Wyndham Clark at 20. The RBC runner-up in Novak and Ben Griffin playing together at 22.
You know what wouldn't surprise me is Ben Griffin getting his first win this week in New Orleans.
I tell you what, here's a pairing that I like. I am not picking them. We all three of us know who I'm locked in on this week because I have the first pick. Sahith Theegala and Aaron Ray playing together.
Aaron Ray, but okay, cool.
Yeah, whatever. I'm going to slaughter that name forever. Horschel and Hoagie at 25. Remus and Nikolai at 28 playing together. Tell them apart if you can. Bryce Garrett and Sepp Straka at 30. And keep going down the list. Nick Taylor and Adam Hadwin at 35. Oshke and Carson Young at 40. So there you go. Being I had the low place finish at RBC, I'm taking Rory and Shane. Got to do it. It's the end of the month. Yep. Next tournament starts a new month. So Rory and Shane, Greg's pick, because he was picking second. He's taking Colin Morikawa and Kurt Kitayama. Steve,
I'm going to take the same team I picked.
You've picked now like first 3 weeks in a row.
I have, and I'm going to take the same pick that I took last year for this team, for this event.
Which, hold on, was Hardley and Riley?
Nick Hardy and Davis Riley.
Yeah.
Past champions here. It was Davis Riley's first win, the PGA Tour. And Davis grew up playing this golf course with the Orlando Golfer quite a bit. And so he knows the golf course, and I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna take Davis and Nick this week.
You know who you took in 23?
Who's that?
Sam Burns and Billy Horschel.
Billy always plays well here. Not gonna lie,
yeah.
Billy was on my list. I took a long hard look, and then I decided that I was going to take Davis.
Last year, Greg missed the cut here with Zalatoris and Theegala playing together.
There's a comment on Instagram from the Orlando Golfer that says Davis and Hardy. They're like Laurel and Hardy, but different, and they're my pick this week. He just said good pick.
So that pick is coming in at 75-1.
I like it. I'm telling you, I'm taking it.
Right.
You can. I'm going to go with Mike Golick Sr. and you can lead pipe lock this one.
You may as well get hit over the head with a lead pipe sometimes too.
There's that too. All right, everybody. So, thank you. Awesome week this week. Hey, Orlando Golfer, enjoyed the weekend, hanging out, playing some golf. And Dave, have a great week. I will be in Mexico all weekend. I'm playing golf on Saturday. Viva la Mexico.
Cheers, y'all.
Really fortunate.